Right now, South Africa has its first female deputy police commissioner. The announcement was made a short while ago by National Commissioner Fannie Masemola. He's just held a briefing to address issues including the recent spate of violent crimes in the country. And our senior reporter Siphamandla Goge has been following those developments. He was at that particular press conference and he joins us now live from Pretoria. Sipa, 22,000 people, if I heard correctly, arrested in July alone.
That's the state of South Africa, the policing system and the crime picture in the country. It's not looking good, it's bad, it's a crisis. 22,000 people arrested in July alone on a number of cases and offences. That's really terrible. It tells you that South Africa is one of the most dangerous countries in the world. You cannot have a situation whereby thousands of people and alleged suspects are arrested over just 1 month, facing serious allegations and cases or charges, and it's really bad. And today the national leadership of the police, including the police minister himself, National Commissioner General Fannie Masemola, unpacking interventions to address violent and rampant crime in South Africa. It keeps on getting worse. Every day we read about terrible stories of South Africans that are being terrorized by criminals in the country. Violent crime is out of control in South Africa. Police's top brass saying they are doing all they can to ensure that they reverse the situation, they turn things around. But for now, South Africans can only feel that way once they feel safe. To say you will protect them is another thing, but to actually protect them is the most important thing. That is not happening currently in South Africa. Women and children are under siege. Cases of gender-based violence, are rampant in the country. Rape, murder, and just any other form of crime category that you can think of is just out of control in the country. And the police say they are working hard to put in place measures to detect crime before it happens, not only to respond once it has happened. And today at the briefing we were able to ask the National Commissioner and the National Minister of Police as to, out of more than 80 people who have been arrested in Krugersdorp for those shocking crimes that were committed, the raping of women who were shooting the music video, more than 80 people were arrested immediately after that. We did put the question to the Minister and the National Commissioner to say, out of those 80 people, how many have been positively linked to the crimes that were committed there. But unfortunately, police say, well, for now, those that were arrested in Krugersdorp, they were arrested for being illegal minors. They have not been directly linked positively to the rapes that took place at that crime scene, of which many people will say something shocking, because it appears as if there was a knee-jerk reaction just to round off people, arrest them after the crime. But of course, police will defend themselves and say investigations are underway. It will take a bit of time to positively link some or all of those who were arrested there to this terrible crime that was committed. So let's take a listen to what General Fannie Masemola had to say about the arrests that have taken place in July alone in South Africa.
As we continue to look after the well-being and safety of South Africans, over 22,320 suspects were arrested across the country for the July for crimes committed against members of our society. 3,193 of these suspects were arrested for assault GPH. 576 were arrested for murder, 360 for attempted murder, 432 for rape, and 177 for sexual offences.
And of course, Sipa, also there at that briefing was the Police Minister, Bheki, and he touched a little bit on, of course, what happened in Krugersdorp, but also the shootings that we've seen, the latest happening in KZN yesterday.
Absolutely, and I guess the Krugersdorp crime is one of those crimes that have really made South Africans to say enough is enough. They've been suffering, complaining about high levels of crime in the country, but if you read and listen to what happened in Krugersdorp, you get a sense that actually citizens are on their own in this country in terms of being protected. Police will defend themselves and say they are doing all they can to prevent criminal offences from happening. They say their crime intelligence has led to major incidents being prevented from happening in the country. But the reality of the situation is that if you look at crime statistics, you can see that something has got to give, something has got to be done to ensure that the most vulnerable members of the South African society, women and children, are protected. So Police Minister General Peggy Cele speaking about these shootings that have been taking place across the country, mass shootings in taverns, the latest one being in KwaZulu-Natal, whereby I think 6 people were gunned down in Marian Hill. Few kilometers from there, another group of 5 people, they were killed. So General Peggy Cele saying police are responding to that, saying they are putting all the resources to ensure that these criminal cases are investigated, be it in the Western Cape, in Gauteng, in KwaZulu-Natal when it comes to mass shootings, but also on the issue of Krugersdorp and those mass shootings. This is what the police minister had to say.
There is this sketch at the present moment, these mass shootings, KZN being the latest, where within 12 hours in one policing precinct, 12 people were killed in KZN. We are responding, National Commissioner together with Provincial Commissioner, we have made it our responsibility that those people are found. What happened in Krugersdorp is just a shame of the nation, Premier. We were lucky yesterday to meet the families and the survivors, those young kids. You hear the story, you imagine what happened, but when you see those people and you realize that they are not just a story, they are human beings, they are there, they are young, you talk to them, and you realize the destruction, which is not temporal. Some of those destructions are permanent with those kids. Though we have tried to push the supporting mechanism, I spoke to the Minister of DSD, who will be part of looking after them. The presidency under Dr. Shisane, they are really taking the matter up serious to make sure that they are giving the proper support.
Sipa, of course, during a media briefing, there would be questions that have to do with other things, and police have been quite busy with a lot of things, even political things at the moment. And I heard you pose a question about the Palapa Farm, investigations going there. Did they give you any concrete answer, or were they mum?
They did answer, but very brief in their answer. They are saying investigations are underway. The head of the Hawks, General Godfrey Lebi, are saying more, or should I say about 30 statements have been obtained from different individuals regarding the ongoing criminal investigation on Palapa scandal. But he is not saying whether one of those statements is from President Cyril Ramaphosa or not. I personally asked him whether President Cyril Ramaphosa has submitted a statement in that regard, or a statement has been obtained from him. Well, they are saying for now the investigation is underway. They will not be divulging too much information. They will be protecting the investigation. Even National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola saying, well, he has deposed an affidavit to the public protector because there were certain questions that he had to answer, but they are not going further than that. They are saying on the issue of Palapa, investigations are underway. I specifically asked them, is it at an advanced stage? When do they expect that at least it will be completed? And they are not giving away any answers in that regard. It appears as if this is a hot political potato. Nobody wants to answer specific questions on that one.
It definitely is, Sipha, but we know that the President did appear before the ANC's Integrity Committee during the course of the week. But just lastly, Sipha, the announcement of a Deputy National Commissioner, Tebello Musikiri, and other police management. Just talk to us about the importance of the Commissioner, the Minister, and everyone who's part of the executive of the police gets along so that we fight the crime that we're seeing escalating so much in our country.
It's important to fill, these senior management posts that have been existing within the SAPS in the country. For you to be able to successfully fight crime, you need to have senior management and leadership in place so that certain decisions can be taken, particularly on the issue of policing. You would recall that the current police commissioner, National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola, was the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for policing. So when he left, when he was appointed the National Commissioner, there was a vacancy there. You need someone to occupy that position so that he or she can be responsible for policing and, ensuring that all systems are in place. You are able to put together and implement crime-fighting strategies and policing strategies. So the filling of that vacancy is very crucial. But also another interesting appointment here is the Provincial Commissioner of the SAPS in the Northern Cape. It's been more than 2 years now that there has been a disagreement between the provincial or should I say the Premier of the Northern Cape, Dr. Zamani Sol, and the then National Commissioner, General Kehla Sithole. They did not agree on the number of things regarding the recruitment processes and the appointment of the Provincial Commissioner in the Northern Cape. It seems as if both of them had different ideas as to how should that be done. Remember, in terms of the law, they need to work together here. The National Commissioner is responsible for appointing provincial commissioners, working with the provincial executive, in this case the Premier of each and every province, where the Provincial Commissioner will be appointed. So for more than 2 years, there's not been a duly appointed Premier, or should I say rather duly appointed Provincial Commissioner of the SAPS in the Northern Cape. And that has been a shame in a way, because it's a simple recruitment process that did not require to be affected by egos of whoever was trying to sabotage that appointment. But today, Police Commissioner General, or should I say the National Police Commissioner, saying the filling of that vacancy will help in fighting crime in the Northern Cape, a province that is plagued by cases of gender-based violence, cable theft, and a number of crimes that need to be addressed there.
All right, senior reporter Siphamandla Goge live for us in Pretoria at Police Headquarters. Thank you for that. Now.